Yo, what is up everybody? It's your boy Tyder, and I am so stoked for this series. We're about to drop some serious travel knowledge, like straight up airport survival guides. You know how it is, airports, man. They can be these crazy mazes of people, delays, and just pure chaos. But don't tap out. We're here to help you conquer the chaos. We're talking about the busiest airports on the planet, from JFK to Dubai, Heathrow to Tokyo. We'll give you the inside scoop on how to navigate these beasts like a pro. So buckle up, subscribe if you haven't already, and get ready to become a master of the airport. Let's go. Listen, I've been there, all right? You land in a new country, pumped for adventure, and bam! Language barrier hits you like a delayed baggage fee. It's frustrating, it's stressful, and it can totally throw off your groove. You're trying to find your gate, order some food, basic travel stuff, and it feels like you're speaking in emojis. Knowing a few basic phrases in the local language can be a game changer. Even just hello, thank you, please, can make a world of difference. Trust me on this one, it shows respect, it breaks the ice, and honestly, people appreciate the effort. Plus, it might just save you from a travel disaster. Now, I'm not saying you got to become fluent in every language, but having a few key phrases up your sleeve is like having a secret weapon. Think about it. You're lost, confused, and suddenly you bust out a, "Excuse me, can you help me find gate 32?" in their language. Boom! Instant respect, instant help. And hey, technology is your friend too. Download a translation app. Keep a pocket dictionary handy, there's no shame in the game. It's 2023. Utilize the tools you have. The point is, communication is key, even if it's a little broken. It shows you're making an effort, and that goes a long way. Look, language is more than just words. It's about connecting with people, experiencing a culture on a deeper level. When you can communicate even a little, it opens up a whole new world. You can chat with locals, get recommendations, maybe even make some new friends along the way. It makes the whole travel experience richer, more immersive, and way more fun. So don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone, butcher some pronunciation, and connect with the world. Alright guys, let's kick things off in the good old US of A. And when it comes to mega airports, Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson, aka ATL, is in a league of its own. This place is a behemoth, a sprawling labyrinth of terminals, concourses, and enough moving walkways to make your head spin. We're talking millions of square feet, people. Now I know what you're thinking, Casey, you're making me miss my connecting flight already. But chill, that's why we're here. We're going to break it down, give you the lay of the land, and make sure you navigate ATL like a boss. So grab your boarding pass, lace up those walking shoes, and let's dive into the belly of the beast. First things first, ATL has two domestic terminals, north and south, and an international terminal. They're all connected by the plane train, which is key to getting around this place. Now, the plane train is your best friend here. It's free, it's efficient, and it runs all the time. Trust me, you don't want to be that person sprinting through the airport trying to catch their flight. Another pro tip, download the ATL Airport app. It's got real-time flight updates, maps, even restaurant menus. It's like having a personal airport assistant right in your pocket. And for my fellow overplanners, familiarize yourself with the airport layout before you even arrive. Knowing where you need to go and how to get there can save you a ton of stress. All right, let's talk strategy. ATL is notorious for its lines, especially at security. My advice, get there early, like really early. And if you're a frequent flyer, TSA PreCheck or Global Entry are worth their weight in gold. You get to skip the lines, keep your shoes on. It's beautiful. Once you're through security, take a minute to locate your gate. ATL has these handy digital signs everywhere that show you exactly how long it'll take to walk there. And for those inevitable delays, don't sweat it. ATL has tons of shops, restaurants, even an art museum. Make the most of it, grab a bite, relax, and remember, it's all part of the adventure. All right, we're venturing across the pond, landing in Heathrow, London's behemoth. You think JFK is nuts at rush hour? Heathrow makes JFK look like a playground. We're talking 5 terminals, each one practically its own small city, and the crowds? Forget about personal space, you'll be closer to strangers than you are to your own family. But hey, that's part of the adventure, right? Embrace the chaos. The key here is to arrive early, like really early. I'm talking 3 hours for domestic, 4 for international. And make sure you've got your boarding pass ready, passport open and a game plan. Because once you're in that sea of travellers, it's a fight to the finish to make that gate. And trust me, you don't want to be that person sprinting through Heathrow, dragging their luggage and screaming for the gate agent to hold the plane. Okay, so you've braved the crowds and made it through security. Congrats, you're a survivor, but the journey's not over yet. Now you've got to navigate the labyrinth that is Heathrow's terminals. Seriously, this place is like a giant puzzle box designed by someone who hates efficiency. There are trains, buses, walkways that feel like they go on forever. It's all connected, but it doesn't feel like it. My advice? Download the Heathrow Airport app. It's a lifesaver. Seriously, it'll give you real-time updates on gate changes, estimated walking times, even where to find the closest Pred A manger for a desperate caffeine fix. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Those folks in the purple vests, those are airport staff. They might look intimidating, but they're actually super helpful and know the airport like the back of their hands. You've made it. You're at your gate, boarding pass in hand, ready to escape the madness that is Heathrow. Take a deep breath. You earned it. But before you completely relax, remember the journey is not over until you're actually in the air. So, get on that plane, find your seat, buckle up, and enjoy the sweet, sweet relief of knowing you conquered Heathrow. And hey, next time you find yourself dreading a layover in Heathrow, remember this, it's all part of the adventure. It's the price you pay for the privilege of exploring this amazing world. So embrace the chaos, keep your cool, and remember, you got this. You're a global traveler now, and Heathrow is just another stamp in your passport. All right, mates, we're heading down under to the land of sunshine, surf, and seriously efficient airports. That's right, we're talking about Sydney Kingsford Smith Airport, or as the locals call it, SID. This place is massive, handling over 40 million passengers a year, but don't let that intimidate you. With a little bit of Aussie know-how, you'll be breezing through this airport like a pro surfer catching a wave. First things first, Sydney Airport is actually pretty close to the city centre, which is always a win in my book. You can hop on the train, grab a taxi, or even catch a ride-sharing service, and boom, you're there in about 20 minutes. No need for those long, soul-crushing airport transfers. Now let's talk layout. Sydney Airport has 3 main terminals, T1 for domestic flights and T2 and T3 for international. They're all connected by a free shuttle bus that runs like clockwork, so getting around is a piece of cake. Just keep an eye out for the signs, they're pretty hard to miss. One thing I really appreciate about SID is how well organized and intuitive it is. They've got these giant digital screens everywhere that show you exactly where you need to go, what time your flight is, and even which gate is closest to that killer coffee shop you're craving. Seriously, they've thought of everything. Okay, so you've made it to the right terminal. Now what? Well, first things first, check yourself in. Sydney Airport has embraced the future with open arms, so you'll find plenty of self-service kiosks where you can print your boarding pass and bag tags faster than you can say shrimp on the Barbie. And if you hit a snag, don't stress. There are always friendly staff members around to lend a helping hand. Once you're all checked in, it's time to navigate the labyrinth that is airport security. Now, I'm not going to lie, security lines can be a bit of a drag, but SID has got their system down pat. They've got these separate lines for families, business travellers, and regular folks like you and me, which helps to keep things moving along at a decent clip. Pro tip, if you're in a hurry, look out for the express lanes. They usually have a shorter wait time, but you might have to shell out a few extra bucks. Hey, sometimes time is money, right? All right, you've made it through security. Congrats. Now the real fun begins. Exploring the terminal. Sydney Airport ain't messing around when it comes to amenities. We're talking duty-free shops galore. Restaurants serving up everything from sushi to burgers, and even a freaking butterfly garden. You could easily spend hours just wandering around this place. Now, before I forget, let me hit you with a few insider tips to make your Sydney Airport experience even smoother. First up, Wi-Fi. Good news, folks. SID offers free unlimited Wi-Fi throughout the entire airport. No need to ration your data or stress about connectivity, just connect and surf to your heart's content. Next up, currency exchange. If you need to swap your hard-earned cash for some Aussie dollars, there are plenty of currency exchange booths scattered throughout the terminals. But fair warning, the exchange rates can be a bit brutal. So you might be better off using your credit card or finding an ATM in the city. And speaking of ATMs, Sydney Airport has got you covered there too. You'll find plenty of ATMs conveniently located throughout the terminals, so you can grab some cash without having to go on a wild goose chase. Last but not least, let's talk about transportation to your final destination. Like I mentioned earlier, Sydney Airport is well connected to the city centre with plenty of transportation options available. You can choose from trains, buses, taxis or ride-sharing services, depending on your budget and time constraints. Just be sure to factor in some extra time for traffic, especially during peak hours. Next stop, we're jetting off to the bustling metropolis of Beijing, China, home to one of the busiest airports in the world, Beijing Capital International Airport, or PK for short. Now, this place is the real deal, handling over 100 million passengers a year. Yeah, you heard that right, 100 million. It's like a city within a city, and navigating it can feel like a real-life video game. But don't worry, my fellow adventurers, I'm here to give you the lay of the land and some essential tips to conquer this airport like a seasoned traveler. First off, let's talk about size. PK is absolutely massive, with 3 terminals spread out over a huge area. We're talking serious walking distances here, so comfortable shoes are a must. To get between terminals, you've got a couple of options. There's a free shuttle bus that runs regularly, but be prepared for a bit of a wait, especially during peak hours. If you're short on time or just feeling impatient, you can always hop on the Airport Express train, which is super fast and efficient. Now, let's talk about the terminals themselves. Terminal 3 is the newest and largest of the bunch, handling most international flights. It's modern, spacious, and surprisingly easy to navigate. Terminals 1 and 2 are a bit older, but they've been recently renovated and are still perfectly functional. Just be prepared for a bit more of a chaotic vibe, especially during peak season. One thing you'll notice right away at PK is the language barrier. While most airport staff speak some English, it's definitely helpful to have a few basic Mandarin phrases up your sleeve. Don't worry, I'm not expecting you to become fluent overnight, but knowing how to say hello, thank you, and where's the bathroom will go a long way. And hey, if all else fails, there's always the universal language of pointing and gesturing. Trust me, I've used it countless times myself. Another thing to keep in mind is the visa situation. Depending on your nationality, you may need to obtain a visa before you even arrive in China. Do your research in advance and make sure you have all the necessary documents to avoid any headaches at immigration. Nobody wants to be that person held up at customs, right? Speaking of immigration, be prepared for a bit of a wait, especially during peak hours. The lines can be long, but the good news is that the process itself is usually pretty efficient. Just have your passport and visa handy. Answer any questions the immigration officer asks truthfully and politely, and you'll be on your merry way in no time. Okay, so you've made it through immigration and collected your bags. Congrats, you've officially conquered Beijing Capital International Airport. Now it's time to explore this airport oasis and see what it has to offer. One thing PK does really well is provide plenty of amenities for travelers. We're talking free Wi-Fi throughout the airport, charging stations galore, and even designated smoking areas for those who need a nicotine fix. They've also got a solid selection of restaurants and cafes serving up everything from traditional Chinese cuisine to Western favorites. If you're looking for some last-minute souvenirs or just need to kill some time before your flight, PK has got you covered. There are plenty of shops selling everything from designer clothes to traditional Chinese handicrafts. You can easily spend hours browsing the aisles and finding the perfect gifts for your loved ones back home. And if you've got some serious time to kill, why not check out the airport's very own garden? That's right, PK has a beautiful indoor garden where you can escape the hustle and bustle of the airport and enjoy a bit of peace and quiet. It's the perfect place to relax, recharge, and mentally prepare for your next adventure. And that's a wrap on our whirlwind tour of some of the world's busiest airports. From the organized chaos of Atlanta to the futuristic efficiency of Tokyo, we've covered a lot of ground and hopefully armed you with the knowledge and confidence to navigate these travel hubs like a pro. Remember, preparation is key. A little patience goes a long way, and hey, a sense of humor never hurts either. Thanks for watching. We hope these tips help you navigate through these busy airports with ease. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more travel tips and guides.